Take my lips, O Lord, and speak through them. Take our minds, O Lord, and think through them. Take our hearts, O Lord, and set them on fire with love for you. Amen. Please be seated. Pathologic, complete response. I'll never forget hearing those words 2 years ago. And for those who haven't lived in cancer's vocabulary, it means the treatment worked. No detectable disease. It's the best news you can get. 3 clinical words. When I heard them, I wept. And here's what surprises me. I am as grateful today as I was in that moment 2 years ago. The shine of that moment has not worn off. 2 years later, I still catch myself watching Sarah laugh at something one of the kids said, and my chest tightens with thanks. And that's unusual, because most gratitude fades. I remember so many moments of passing thankfulness. Moving into the rectory, I was so thankful for about 4 months. Then winter came. Turns out that beautiful 300-year-old gem isn't so weather-tight. I remember when I was ordained being overwhelmed with gratitude. Now, some Monday mornings, I'm just tired. That's not ingratitude exactly, it's just life. Sometimes the blessing becomes the baseline. And yet, 2 years later, my gratitude for Sarah's good health has not dimmed. And I think Jesus tells us why. When the crowd found Jesus on the other side of the sea, they were grateful. They had just experienced a miracle, thousands fed from almost nothing. And they tracked him down, eager for more. And Jesus, who could have simply accepted their enthusiasm, does something strange. He challenges them. He says, "You're looking for me because you ate your fill of loaves." In other words, your gratitude is real, but it's too small. You're thankful for full bellies, but you came for the wrong bread. And this isn't Jesus being ungracious. This is Jesus loving his disciples enough to tell them the truth. The crowds came wanting another meal, and Jesus was offering them himself. There's a version of Thanksgiving that Jesus is gently challenging here, the version where we all go around the table naming our blessings, health, family, jobs, homes, all of which are real, all of which matter. But all of that is the bread that perishes, because every one of those gifts can be taken away, and some will be. So what is the bread that endures? When Sarah was in treatment for cancer, I discovered what I was actually hungry for. It wasn't success, it wasn't security, it wasn't the normal things that we chase. I wanted her. I wanted her healthy and at the dinner table. I wanted another ordinary Tuesday. I wanted presence, both hers and honestly, I wanted God's presence too. And that kind of hunger cuts through everything. It strips away the polite, manageable gratitude, and it reveals something fiercer underneath. Gratitude, tested by fear, becomes gold. This is why the thankfulness hasn't faded. It was never about circumstances. It was about waking up to what actually matters, what we've been hungering for all along. Jesus says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry." I used to hear that as a metaphor. Now I hear it as the key to survival. Paul writes in his letter to the Philippians, "Do not worry about anything, but in everything, by prayer and with supplication and thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts." Notice, it's not get what you want, then feel peaceful. It's pray with thanksgiving, and then the peace of God comes. Gratitude isn't the result of good circumstances. Gratitude is the pathway to peace, regardless of the circumstances. Peace doesn't come from getting what we want. Peace comes from wanting what God gives. The writer Anne Lamott, in her Thanksgiving reflection, describes what happens when her family pauses to say grace before a meal. She says, "For a minute, our stations are tuned to a broader, richer radius." I love that. It's not that our problems disappear, it's that we're suddenly receiving on a frequency we normally miss, the frequency of gift, of presence, of a love that holds us, even when life doesn't cooperate. The gratitude that fades is gratitude that depends on life's cooperation. The gratitude that stays fresh has learned to receive each day as gift, not because everything is fine, but because God, the giver, is faithful. So today, on Thanksgiving, yes, let's thank God for the turkey and the people around the table and the roof over our heads, because all of it matters and all of it is grace. But don't stop there. Notice the gratitude that hasn't faded, because that's pointing you towards something eternal. Receive not just the bread that perishes, but the bread that endures, the presence of Christ given for us again and again. Lamott closes her Thanksgiving reflection this way: "We savor these moments out of time when we are conscious of love's presence, of someone's great abiding generosity to our dear and motley family, these holy moments of gratitude. And that," she says, "is grace." Some gratitude never gets stale. And that's how we know it's pointing toward God. Amen.